video is brought to you in association with Funded Today. Funded Today helps you get more pledges for your Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaign with professional video and design. Links are in the video description below. Thank you. Let's get on with the show. Talk Funding Backstory. Today, we're with Siouxie from the Awesome Gummy Bears company. Hi, Siouxie.
Hi.
Siouxie, we've really covered a lot in the main interview and in the deep dive, which was really talking a lot about the ingredients and really your pursuit of excellence, I have to say, in the sourcing ingredients, in sourcing a good good production standards, the high standards, not cutting corners, but saying, I want this to be the best product for myself, for my family, and for other individuals and their family. So it's been a fantastic conversational journey with you, Siouxie, so far. So today, like in the backstory, let's start off with about you shared off camera about the awesome gummy bears and where that actually name come from in your blog. Just a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so I've been blogging at 365daysofawesome.com for since 2015. And it's my quest to lead a more awesome life. And then I share what I find. And sometimes it's just products, sometimes it's information, whatever it is, right? And that's kind of the DIY. It's the only reason I was even cataloging my experience in making gummy bears, right? And so when we decided to formulate these, my husband was like, well, what are we going to call them? And I was like, well, Awesome Gummy Bears, obviously, and then we'll have Awesome Sour Bears and we'll have Awesome Fish, which will be similar to the red fish candy that lots of people love. Yeah.
Wow, I don't know anything about red fish candy, but that's maybe for another interview. So let's just look at the process to market side of things. So say you've got ingredients, you've got the manufacturing, and now the next thing, the process to market. And we looked in the deep dive regarding your packaging and everything, right? So yeah. The next stage was really looking at the crowdfunding campaign. How do you engage with audience? How do you engage with, you've got great testimonials. Could you say something maybe about the journey through, what you've had through the crowdfunding campaign?
Yeah, so if I had it to do over again, I would have done it very differently. When we started, we figured out what we're going to need, and we need close to 350,000, right? So we set the target at 350,000 on the crowdfunding campaign. And I think the problem with that, when you have a lower cost item like ours, where, people can buy one box with the 12 bags for 25 and with the super early bear special, right? And then it kind of goes up from there. And a lot of people are buying one box or two boxes. So it's a smaller hit on their wallet, but it doesn't move the dial as much. So I think that some people end up coming to the campaign with the idea like, oh no, I don't think they're going to make the target. Does that mean that these gummy bears aren't going to come out or ever actually be produced? And then they feel sad, like they're not going to be able to help, and then they're not purchasing or backing it. We're bringing them to market no matter what. And we're definitely, we have a background in business, so it isn't something that we expected to do, but we're willing to do it. So, and there was more stuff that I learned too along the way. And I don't know if it's helpful. I don't know if people who are thinking of doing campaigns also watch these, but it's a very interesting thing. There's a whole way in which if you do it and you do it right from the beginning, it can go very, very fast. I think we should have done a smaller target, like maybe to fund our first bench test, which was only 20,000, right? If we had done that and then surpassed it, I think people would have been excited because they would have seen the green bar. So,
yeah, but I think we are where you are, and I really, from picking up with the different parts of the interview, I think it's like, it's a quality. I keep going back to the journey that you've been on to produce this quality product, no compromise product, and I think, you just, whatever it'll take, I think it'll definitely come for you, in terms of once people are aware of this journey that you've been on and this pursuit of excellence and not wanting to cut corners and made in the USA. It's just a wonderful, wonderful backstory. You know, I find it's just as somebody who's just met you today. Is there anything else you really like to say regarding, you know, the whole journey that you've been on?
I mean, it's been an amazing journey. Also, learning about the food industry, I will say something to that because I was really surprised at how food ingredients are treated, honestly, within the distribution and the sourcing world. And there's definitely a lot of, I would say, half truths and not fully honest transparency. And I thought, you know, I want to create a product that's transparent, like that even the stuff like talking about the monk fruit. My monk fruit was grown in China. There's no other place that monk fruit grows. But then what did I do to help counter that as an activity? Allulose right now currently within the United States is almost exclusively sourced from China, but we refused. And I actually wouldn't have brought them to market if we hadn't been able to source them in the US. So we were able to source it outside of China. And I was super, super excited about that. But I've definitely been that person that when I'm talking to the distributors and the manufacturers, where they're a little bit like, oh, who is this woman? Because every time I hear something alarming that's mentioned as a side, I'm like, whoa, 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 what did you just say? Oh no, that's not going to work for me. So what I need is I need to know that it's third party verified. Like, what do I need to do on that? Is it something that I can get tested, or do you have a product that meets that? And it's been kind of amazing. And I actually feel like the companies that we're working with have actually appreciated it, because I think that they're actually producing some crappy products because people are willing to buy crappy products, and their integrity is taking a hit too. It's not just you as the consumer or me as the consumer that's taking a hit. It's actually the people that are manufacturing and making these ingredients. They're not going to cut corners unless we as a product producer ask them to cut corners. I mean, some of them probably will, let's be honest, but most of them, that's not actually what I've experienced. And now we have this whole team of manufacturers that are like rooting for us, like ingredient manufacturers were like, they're so excited for our product to hit the market, because who knows, maybe we'll help to change what the standard is when somebody's considering adding a natural flavor. It is a more expensive ingredient, but it's not that much more expensive. You're talking about something that makes up such a small percentage of the product. Even if it's a few dollars more, I'm not using that much of it comparatively. So to me, that extra little expense is worth it, to know that I have peace of mind and to know that I'm creating something that anybody can eat, and I don't feel like, oh, that has some sketchy ingredients that I read about once. Like, there's none of that for me. I can sleep well at night and have joy. So
I think that was fascinating what you were saying about manufacturing, and really challenging manufacturers to set new standards, and their willingness to want their desire to, you know, come along behind you and support you, and you know, that's what they want as well, is to set the new standards. I love the word transparency and transparent, and
yeah.
and that's what I'm picking up throughout our whole interview, is that I quest for transparency, because you know, it's what we put in our bodies every day, which is such an impact on your life. And you mentioned at the start of the interview, you know, you have to be, because of your health issue, you have to be particularly careful what you put in. But generally, particularly in the Western world, increasingly that is such a topical area about what we are putting into our bodies, and where
Totally.
the sourcing of it, the quality of it. So that's why I have to say the Awesome Gummy Bear Company is, I think, your pioneers, your food pioneers for standards, for qualities. And for me, in terms of the word zeitgeist, it's where we are going as in the Western world anyway, as a society. So in one sense, you guys are forging a path, and I think that's just a wonderful, clap my hands, praise you for the journey that you've been on.
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. That's what I hope. That's what I hope.
No, we'll have, you know, I'm a totally outsider who just met you today. Like, so I have no doubt that what your everything, the interviews that we've covered today, you know, that's what's shining through, Siouxsie, and your family. That's what's shining through, which is really a wonderful way to end our own little voyage of series of interviews, Siouxsie. Sincerely wish you all the best, and
Thank you.
like the Awesome Gummy Bear Company, I think, has a shining future to it. Listen, thank you so much, Siouxsie.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Alan.
much. Okay, thank you. Bye now. Bye.
Bye.